Hello class, welcome to StudyWave Academy, where education is without limits. Welcome to our civic education class, and let's continue looking at poverty and its effects as our main topic for today. So I was looking at the factors contributing to poverty, and these are the causes that contribute to poverty or lead to poverty. So I've looked at unemployment and underemployment. I've looked at lack of education. I've talked about health issues, and I'm talking about discrimination and social exclusion as a factor contributing to poverty. Like I said, some societal discrimination based on factors like race, gender, ethnicity, or religion can limit certain opportunities for certain groups or certain people, making it so hard for them to access education, employment, and other resources necessary to escape poverty. So you find that even in the job market today, there are people who are very discriminative. They will just employ the males, okay? So they will say this job is just for the male gender, or this job is just for the female, no male can do, okay? Or this certain job is just for these people from this ethnic group, okay? Or you find that this job they're just employing Christians, or they're just employing Muslims, or they're just employing Buddhists, okay? So you find that certain or this kind of discrimination will limit opportunities for certain groups of people. So let me just give an example. Let's say for example, I am a female, okay? I want to work for a certain company that maybe it's a mining company. Let me say I want to work in a certain mining company, and I have all the qualifications. I'm so good. I have done all the levels of education. I have all the certificates. I have everything it takes to get this job. You'll find that I will fail to get this job, not because I don't have the papers or I don't have the certificates, but because I am a lady or I am a female. So you find that they will discriminate me, or they will deny me a chance to get this job because I'm a female. So this will limit me to get the job, and therefore can lead to poverty, or can prevent me from escaping poverty. So why do you work? You work because you want to get income and sustain yourself and provide for yourself and just cater for your basic needs, okay? So if I want to be able to cater for my basic needs and also enable myself reach the best limits, or reach the highest limits in this life, and just escape poverty, I have to work. And if you find certain jobs that discriminate you because of your gender, or because of some certain religion or race, then this can limit you from escaping this poverty situation because of these discriminative factors, okay? So now, do you get my understanding? So discrimination is also another great factor that can contribute to poverty. You really desire to escape poverty because you want to live a life where you can afford to pay for your meal, you can afford to get the clothes to wear, you just want to be able to cater for your own basic needs. But this will be hard for you if you find a job that discriminates, that doesn't want the females, or doesn't want maybe the Christians or the Muslims. So discrimination can lead to poverty, okay? Even in education, you'll find that there's some schools, I don't want to give names, but if you do your research so well, there's some schools that will say we want children from these ethnic groups, okay? Or this is just a Muslim school, or this is just a Christian school. So we just want students who are Muslims, or we just want students who are Christians. So certain barriers, or such barriers, can lead to someone someone being unable to escape poverty. So do you get my point now? I hope you understand, okay? Now, let's look at another factor, and that is geographical location. So when I say geographical location, what do I mean? This is just an area where you reside in, okay, where you're from. So rural or remote areas may lack infrastructure, job opportunities, or access to basic services like healthcare and education, contributing to persistent poverty in these regions. This is very evident. Just look at the rate at which youths from the rural areas migrate or move from the rural area, and they go reside in the urban areas because they want to seek for job opportunities. So most of the people would move from the rural areas or these remote areas and go to the urban areas because they are looking for job opportunities. Because in these rural areas there are certain factors that lack there. You find there are no infrastructures, or there are poor infrastructures, there are no job opportunities. So what people have to do is just farm, and you get that this is just a common thing that everyone does farming. So if my neighbor grows maize and my other neighbor is growing maize and I'm also growing maize, then how am I going to create a job opportunity by selling them this maize? Because they don't need it. Okay, so we find that there are no job opportunities, or they're limited. Let me not say there are no job opportunities, but let's say there are limited job opportunities in the rural areas. Okay, so most people will desire to move from the rural or remote areas and go to the urban areas in search of jobs. Okay, they want to access services like healthcare, education, which will help them get or sustain themselves in this life. Also, when you talk about healthcare, you find that the best healthcare services are found in the urban areas. So people would want to live closer to places where they can access better health facilities. So they would want to move. Okay, so when you talk about education again, most or the best schools are found in the urban areas again. So most people would want to leave the rural areas or the remote areas and go to the urban areas so that they can seek this education, they can seek these healthcare facilities. Okay, so geographical areas can also contribute to poverty, because persistent poverty are found in these regions. Okay, if you compare the rural areas or the remote areas with an urban area, you can even see the difference. It's very, very visible. You find that the urban areas have the best infrastructures, very, very nice infrastructure. So I made a mistake there. There's nothing like infrastructures, it's just infrastructure. Even if there are several of them or 1,000 of them, we just, in plural, we just say infrastructure. So if you compare the infrastructure in the rural areas or the remote areas and the infrastructure in the urban areas, there's a great difference. So this is why most people would want to leave these rural or remote areas and go reside in the urban areas, because they want to get access to job opportunities. They want to access basic services like healthcare and education. Okay, so that is another factor that you should keep in mind. Another factor is family structure and household composition. Single parent households, large families, or households headed by individuals with limited earning capacity can struggle financially, especially when dependent on a single income source. I know that some of our families have this structure where it's just our father or just our mother, so it's a single parented family. So you find that when there's a single parent and all the children are looking up to this parent for provision of their basic needs, it becomes so hard, because the parent has to struggle so that they can be able to cater for the needs of each of their child. Okay, so single parented families or households, or even large families or households which are headed by just an individual with limited capacity of resources, they can really struggle financially, especially when everyone depends on them for food, for shelter, for clothing. Okay, you find that it's a single parented family and the children are almost 7 or 9 or 10. So you find that it's a huge number. It's a very big household, and it's just one parent taking care of the entire household. So this becomes very hard for them. Okay, so that's why I'm saying these single parented households can be very challenging, and the individuals can struggle to provide for their families, because you want, as a mother, you wouldn't want any of your child to struggle getting food, or to get into certain acts of maybe begging to get food. You don't want to see your child in certain situations, so you will be there struggling so that you can provide for them. And this is also a contribution to poverty. Okay. Another factor is inequality and limited economic mobility. Inequality and limited economic mobility. So economic systems that favor the wealthy and lack social mobility can perpetuate poverty, making it difficult for individuals from lower income backgrounds to advance economically. So you find that there's certain jobs or certain economic opportunities that only favor the wealthy people. Okay, you find that you maybe they want a supervisor for certain job, but you have to pay maybe some money for registration. Okay, I've seen some certain jobs that you have to pay for registration. Now, if you are, let's say if you're poor and able to like get this money to pay for that application, compare yourself with someone from a rich family and has the money to pay for this application, then this will definitely limit you to get this job because you can't pay for it. You find that most of the time they don't want even to look at your qualification. You're very qualified. You have all the certificates, everything it needs to get this job. And another person that does not even have the quality, is not qualified, they don't have the skills to get this job, but because they have the money to pay for the application, then it will favor them, they will get the job. So that is economic inequality, okay, which can favor only the wealthy people. And when you lack this social mobility, or when you lack this the lack of this social mobility can perpetuate poverty, or can bring poverty. So individuals from lower income backgrounds can get it very, very hard to advance from one level to another. Again, inequality, you find that a certain job is offering a certain position, but you find people use the backdoor method. When I talk about the backdoor method, what do I mean? They will pay their way in. Okay, so they will bribe. In short, I'm saying they will bribe. So you find that it's a very, very nice position, and they're hiring people, and everyone maybe is qualified, or people have different levels in which they are qualified in a certain field. So because someone didn't want to go through the legal process, they decide to pay some ransom. Okay, so they pay a lot of money, and because they're paid, they'll be given this opportunity. But you do not have money, you're just there following the system as it is required, you miss to get the job. So that is where inequality comes in. Because someone is paid, they're given the job or given the opportunity, but because you can't pay, you don't have the income to cater for this service, you're denied this opportunity. So that is another factor that leads to poverty. Another factor is environmental factors. Now, natural disasters, climate change, and environmental degradation can destroy livelihoods, homes, and local economies, okay, pushing already vulnerable communities deeper into poverty. We've seen that sometimes there is this, you see the El Ninos, or sometimes they're just the natural disasters. You find that it rains very, very heavily and it starts flooding. So when it floods, people's properties are washed away, okay? You find that some buildings come crumbling down because the heavy rains have destroyed them. You find that the rains get into some people's households and destroy things. Also climate change, you find that there's this point where there's just drought, where no plants grow well, there's no food. So you find that this becomes a struggle because people can't access food, they can't access this food. So these natural disasters or climate change and environmental degradation can destroy livelihoods, homes, and local economies, pushing already vulnerable communities deeper into poverty. So you find that certain ventures, certain businesses are destroyed when there's rain. You find that people's businesses are destroyed, or even when there's heavy rains, nothing really goes on because you can't go start selling your food stuff or opening a business. No one will come because of the rains. So you find that these adverse conditions can lead to poverty. You find that people's things are washed away, or there is drought, so there's no food. So certain things can lead to poverty and can destroy livelihoods, homes, and even the local economies. Okay, so that is the